My name is Gene. You guys are watching Lubed for January the 20th, 2024. This is season 3, episode 33, and it is also Hockey Day in Canada. I hope you guys are having an amazing evening. Lots of stuff going on as all 7 teams in Canada are in action today, which is just amazing. And I was actually just watching a bit of the Toronto-Vancouver game, and I thought, holy cow, Vancouver's smoking them out of the water. No, in the second period, Toronto rallied from a 3-0 deficit to make it 3-3. I don't know what the score is now. I'll find out a little bit later, but we're not talking about those guys. We're talking about our guys. We're talking about the Edmonton Oilers. So some news of note that came down the wire today is Dylan Holloway will be coming back into the lineup. James Hamlin gets sent down to the Condors. So he'll be a bit of a welcome addition, as he's a bit of a he is a good, tough kid. I like what he brings to the table. He a little bit, still needs to work on a puck luck a little bit, but he brings the work ethic every day. So I'm not too disappointed about that. We're going to talk about the Kraken and Oiler game. We're going to also talk about the suspension that Yanni Gourde got on a brutal hit. We'll get into that. On troubleshooting, I had to kind of really get interesting on this one. Because right now, realistically, there's not much troubleshooting that we have to consider. So we're troubleshooting for the future, and we'll get into that. We're also going to talk about the Battle of Alberta. By the way, tonight, the Edmonton Oilers and the Calgary Flames are going to revisit the unis that they wore at the Heritage Classic. So that should be pretty cool to watch. And apparently for the rest of the year, anytime Edmonton and Calgary play, they are going to be wearing those unis. And then I want to get your final thoughts and comments if you guys decide to chime in. If not, I'll give you some of my thoughts and comments going forward. All right, so why don't we dive into the Edmonton Oilers and the Seattle Kraken game. This was another game that the Edmonton Oilers had to claw back from behind. This is something that the Edmonton Oilers need to address, and hopefully tonight they will, and stop playing this game of catch up, because it exhumes so much energy to try to chase the game. If they can just stay ahead of the game, they'll be in good shape. So let's dive into what happened here on this game. As the Edmonton Oilers and Seattle Kraken played, 2 days ago? Yes, it was 2 days ago. And it started off in the first period with Ellie Tolvanen getting his 12th of the year from Oliver Bergstrand. It was 1-0 Seattle. Okay, Jared McCann would make it 2-0. And again, I'm watching this and I'm thinking, oh my God, this is the same stuff that we've been witnessing against the Toronto, but I'm not going down on the Oilers, but I'm just like, why are they allowing the teams to get ahead? So now it is 2-0 with that goal in the first period. The Edmonton Oilers would wake up once again in the second period. Warren Foegele getting his 8th. Warren Fogel's been just a story this year. Like, I'm loving his play. But yeah, he would get his 8th from Leon Draisaitl and Evander Kane. It's 2-1. The Oilers would rally and tie it from a Leon Draisaitl power play goal, his 22nd of the year, from Zach Hyman, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins' 28th assist, or 28th point, I guess. It would be a 2-2 game, and before the second period would end, the Oilers would take the lead for the first time in the game from another Warren Foegele game, Foegele goal, sorry. And this would be his 9th, again from Leon Draisaitl and Evander Kane. What an amazing line. What an amazing line for that being. And then Zach Hyman on the power play. The power play was looking pretty good, as Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl would also assist. So the power play is starting to come along. The penalty kill is still staying really strong. So a lot of good things happened in this game. When it comes down to the game breakdown, the Oilers outshot the Seattle Kraken 36-27. penalty kill, they shut them out. They had 5 power plays. Seattle had 5 power plays and couldn't get a single bite. When it comes to the face-off percentage, the Oilers were absolutely killing it. 68% on that. When I saw that number, I'm like, is that correct? Like, that's a huge number on the face-off win percentage. 68%. For Skinner, another amazing night. Another game where he was able to hold up the fort until the Edmonton Oilers were able to find their way. And that's something that Stuart Skinner has been doing, and that's what the Edmonton Oilers so desperately needed for so many seasons now. So his save percentage, he allowed 2 goals. He had 25 saves, so 27 shots. His save percentage was, again, .926. The exact same one against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Exact same numbers. My 3 stars, personally, I'm going to give Warren Foegele the first star. For a guy that was basically almost, and I know there's certain channels that were saying, hey, like, get rid of him and all this kind of stuff. For what he has done, his body of work this year has been very impressive. He's doing extremely well under Knobloch, and I love seeing what he's bringing to the table. So he's my first star. He had 2 goals. We were hoping he was going to get the hat trick. Unfortunately, he fell short as he got a penalty late in the 3rd period, which basically spoiled that for him. Second star, Leon Draisaitl, 1 goal, 3 assists. And of course, I'm going to add Skinner once again into the mix. And this is like the 3rd or 4th time that an Edmonton Oilers goaltender, excuse me, has made the mix. So kudos to those guys for playing an amazing game. I'm liking what I'm seeing, but there was some ugliness that happened in that game, as Yanni Gourde ended up getting 2-game suspension. I'm okay with it. I think that's a fair suspension. Luckily, Matthias Ekholm did not get hurt in that, but what we saw there was not very good. If you can take a look at the left-hand side of your screen, that's the hit actually in motion. You can see Yanni Gourde's skates are above the yellow trim, and that yellow trim is probably about 3 inches off the ice. So he's jumping airborne about 3 inches off the ice. He clips him in the head. Not good. Obviously, the picture on the right is the melee that ensued, and you can see Ekholm is right in the middle of that, trying to rip Yanni Gourde's face off. So I think justice was well served here. That kind of stuff cannot be in the game, and maybe they need to even up that. Maybe give it a 5-game suspension for that, because Ekholm did get a bit of an abrasion on his cheek from that, which was kind of the least of wear, but it could lead to concussions. It could lead to so many bad things. The NHL, I like what they are doing, but I think they still need to do a little bit more when it comes to hits to the head and all that kind of stuff. Because you can't go airborne when you're hitting your opponent like that. So anyway, it brings us to troubleshooting. And like I said, the Oilers are playing amazing. Let's hope that they create Canadian NHL history tonight, which is very much a possibility. I can't believe when I'm thinking about that the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Montreal Canadiens, going back all the way from the beginning of time of the NHL, have not got more than a 12-game winning streak. So tonight, if the Edmonton Oilers defeat the Calgary Flames, they will be in sole possession of the longest Canadian NHL team streak. Obviously, they need to get to about, I think it's 17 for the 92-93 Pittsburgh Penguins to exonerate that record and have the sole possession of the longest streak in NHL history, which would be amazing to see. So really, when it comes to troubleshooting, there's not a whole heck of a lot. But what I want to talk about is what are the Oilers going to do when it comes down to the cap crunch issues that they have. Let's get into troubleshooting.
Swagger down the street with your red lips and funky beat. You better hold your head up to the sky. I'm gonna roll with you till the day I die.
Own personal mathematics here, and I'm going to base it off of two contracts coming out of Toronto. Okay, and I'm going to compare William Nylander to Leon Draisaitl, and I'm also going to compare Austin Matthews to McDavid. Okay, so recently William Nylander signed a contract with the Toronto Maple Leafs. This is the highest paying contract through the length of its term, the highest amount of money, not necessarily per year. Austin Matthews is making 13, what is he making? 13,250,000. So he makes more per year. But throughout the length, because Austin Matthews signed only a bridge deal, throughout the length of the deal, William Nylander is the highest paid Toronto Maple Leaf in the history of the Toronto Maple Leafs. He is going to be getting, starting next year, $11.5 million, and this is going to last until the 2031-2032 season. Now, what I did is I used Excel to kind of give the point percentage breakdown of and compare him to Leon Draisaitl. So last year, William Nylander got 87 points. Leon Draisaitl had 128. So Leon Draisaitl's point percentage, now keep in mind 100% is dead even. So if Leon Draisaitl had 87 and William had 87, that's 100%. His point percentage was 147.13%. So basically, I'm judging it off of a 47.13 percentile increase, which I'm going to add to the wage. Okay. I know it's a little confusing here. With William Nylander making $11.5 million. That's crazy money. And Leon Draisaitl now currently at $8.5 million. Leon Draisaitl is due for a contract here at the end of the 24-25 season. He becomes a UFA. Okay. By those numbers, looking at the comparison of what Nylander does, Leon Draisaitl with the cap allowance that it's allowed should technically be making $12,505,747. Now, obviously we're getting a little technical, but basically $12,500,000 if you're going to pay William Nylander that much. Okay? Here's the good one now. We get into Connor McDavid's contract compared to Austin Matthews' contract. Okay, Austin Matthews, and I think this contract kicked in this year. It might be kicking this year or it might be next year. $13.250 million. He is now the highest paid player in the NHL with that contract. He had 85 points last year. This is where it gets really stupid. Connor McDavid nearly doubled him with 153 points. So that puts him at 180% of Austin Matthews' total. Now, when you do the math, it can't even exceed the actual cap hit for next year. So next year, the cap hit for every team is roughly, now this is a rough estimate, $87.675 million. That's where it's supposed to jump to. So the maximum at 20% that Connor McDavid could make is $17,535,000. However, based off of what Austin Matthews is doing and the point production that McDavid did last year, McDavid should honestly be earning $22,500,000 with 180% production compared to Austin Matthews. That to me is absolutely sickening. He'll never get that because there is certain rules and regulations involved with the cap, and the maximum any player can get is 20% of that cap. And McDavid was obviously nice enough when he signed his first multi-year deal to say, hey, we need to sign some good players. He'll probably do the same thing, probably take a team cut. I'm hoping Leo does too, because we still got to worry about Stuart Skinner. We got to worry about, we don't have to worry about Darnell Nurse. We got him locked in for quite a while. But we got to worry about Evan Bouchard. And then the up-and-comers. Warren Fogel's coming around. He's going to want a bit of a pay raise. Stuart Skinner's been lights out. He's looking at Jack Campbell saying, hey, you're getting $5 million. I want more than that. You're in the AHL. So there's problems financially coming on the horizon. Luckily, the Oilers are riding hot now, and hopefully they can get the job done this season. Because, it could be an ugly future for the Edmonton Oilers. And I'm hoping I'm not being too worried about the future, but it could be bad. All right, guys, the Battle of Alberta tonight. The second time, I believe it is. And they are going to be wearing those unis there. If you look on my background there, the Ryan Nugent-Hopkins jersey with the oil drop there and the number in there. Apparently they are going to be wearing those jerseys tonight in Calgary. And Calgary will be wearing the ones that they wore at the Heritage Classic with the little circle in the sea. It should be a hell of a game tonight. Okay, let's dive into what we can expect here. The Oilers record right now on a 12-game winning streak. Lucky number 13 hopefully will happen tonight on Hockey Day in Canada, which would be incredible. Hockey Day in Canada to set a Canadian NHL record would be just absolutely amazing. Okay, so the Oilers record 25-15-1. They are currently third in the Pacific with 51 points. The Flames record is 21-19-5. Fifth in the Pacific with 47. So they're kind of right on the trail here. Right now, LA is, they're kind of reeling a little bit because they now have the second wild card spot as Nashville has bumped ahead of them, which could be a very interesting thing. Because LA's record right now is they're sitting in the second wild card with a record of 21-13-8 for 50 points. And they're just right behind the Oilers. So, realistically, a lot can change. We're talking about 1 point, and we're not even at the halfway point of the season for the Edmonton Oilers. I think tonight actually is officially the halfway point, as they will. Well, actually, no. Last game was the halfway point. They hit 42, so they officially start the second half of the season tonight. It should be good. It should be really good. I'm hoping for good results out of the Oilers. Wouldn't it suck if they lose, if that streak ends tonight against the Calgary Flames? I'm really hoping that they can keep the momentum going. If not, oh well. I'm not going to be too disappointed. I'm happy that they were able to pull out of the depths of hell that they were in October, November, and get themselves into this situation where they are still contending for a playoff spot. So yeah, let's do this. Come on, Oilers, man. Let's keep the train rolling. Okay, guys, it's time for final thoughts here. No one chiming in tonight. I think everyone's definitely in tune to Hockey Night in Canada, as it is Hockey Day in Canada. That's fine. You can always chime in later. I will try to address your questions or whatever if you just type in on my YouTube page, and then I'll try to get back to you. Other than that, I guess it's night for me. I think I'm going to wrap this one up here, and get back to the TV, watch the rest of the Canucks game and the Maple Leafs game, because that was pretty intriguing, and then definitely gear down to watch the Edmonton Oilers game. Okay, guys, if you are witnessing this channel for the very first time and like the content that I bring, I urge you, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button, as it means so much to me to build this channel up. I want to continue making this channel better for you guys and make it visually exciting. I know I had my bumps along the road, and I'm still going to have them, but you know what? Shit happens. To be honest, shit happens. Mistakes happen even with the professionals. So anyway, if you enjoy the content and you're witnessing this for the very first time, feel free to hit that like, share, and subscribe. As for the rest of you guys who have been with me through thick and thin, I so much appreciate your support. Stay tuned for more episodes. We will see you next time.